Hello everyone, I'm Raven from Raven Comics, and today we will conclude this short comic series called Enemies Among Us. This is part 3, and you can find the rest in the playlist. Many times, Batman has found himself fighting against impossible odds, and yet, somehow he endures. No matter how much Master Wayne may hate to hear me say it, he is at his best when he's cornered. Faced with the possibility of death, most of us would panic. But not Batman. They think he would somehow be afraid of them. Afraid of their own twisted, evil-filled faces. They don't understand that he doesn't see their faces in battle. Instead, he sees the face of the one who killed his parents and his own young face, wet with tears. That is what gives him the strength to face any opponent, even the most powerful man on Earth. Batman endures because his pain has been channeled into a white-hot, burning sense of justice. As a child, he could only watch as his parents bled out on the street. He refused to ever feel helpless again. We begin with Superman, who arrives before Batman. Batman tells him that he's not surprised that Zook could be controlled by an alien force. But he can't believe that Supergirl and Superman have been possessed. The Man of Steel tells him that they have shown him what he always knew. He is not welcome in this world. Batman tells him that's not true. It never was. They've poisoned him with their hatred, and he is truly sorry for that. Because Batman never thought he would be forced to use this again. The Bat takes out a small kryptonite rock and throws it at Superman. Clark tells him that all of this is useless because he's only delaying the inevitable. Batman seizes the opportunity to escape and goes to Plastic Man, asking if he's okay. O'Brien asks him to define okay. First, that dark alien troop tried to infect him. Then Luthor ran him through 5,000 rinse cycles. Batman tells him that Lex always wants everything for himself. The Black Rocks are somehow connected to the invading force approaching Earth. Plastic Man says that connected is an understatement. He's had some pretty strange thoughts. But when the rock was absorbing him, that was something else. Batman tells him they need to get out of here. Plastic Man asks why. Is Luthor still out there? Because after what he put him through, he could have gotten his revenge with a knuckle sandwich. Batman knows that won't be possible. Superman, Supergirl, and the other aliens are here. Meanwhile, Superman is still struggling with the kryptonite. These buildings were designed to withstand radiation, meaning the wiring, the ducts, everything is lead shielded. Bringing kryptonite was a smart move, but Batman must know that it was his last move. Once the Man of Steel breaks free, he'll be ready to go after the Bat with even more fury. In the distance, Batman watches everything. He knew that sooner or later, Superman would deal with the kryptonite. Perhaps this time, Batman wasn't prepared enough to face Superman. So he had to take a precaution. Using the diamond they had found, he embedded it in his chest. Superman tells him that the Black Rock is a form of alien life. It must sense them in space. Does he know what's coming? Batman, of course, knows. He embraced it, just like he rejects this world and his place in it. It's going to tear everything apart, starting with the facade he has built in Gotham City. Batman retreats. Supergirl tells him to stay away. She can't trust him. She can't trust anyone. Kara was speaking to herself, her mind filled with conflicting thoughts. Noise upon noise. Nails on a chalkboard. She was sent to Earth for a reason, and not for this. She won't allow herself to remain here and fight against the planet she's supposed to protect. We return to Alfred. In many ways, that day was just like any other. People went to work, took their children to school, unaware that their greatest champion was conspiring against them. Supergirl's inner demons had taken her out of the battle, but it was little comfort to those who understood the magnitude of the crisis ahead. Batman took the only option he had to survive. But the question remained, at what cost? And the great challenge of Superman still lay ahead. The approaching army had already reached his mind. It told him that everything he knew and loved about this Earth was a great lie. But evidently, a part of him was still unconvinced. There was someone he had to see. That someone was none other than Lois Lane. Lois was standing atop the Daily Planet, waiting for Superman. She tells him that it's okay. They can talk. She's alone. Superman asks how she knew he was there. Lois says she saw a blue streak in the sky. She felt the windows tremble. It's not exactly like hearing a car on the street, but it means the same thing. It means he has come home. Superman tells her that not everything has been a lie. Not the Kents. Not her. Not him pretending that he belongs in this world. Lois asks him what has happened to him. Superman tells her that they have shown him the truth, and the fear in her eyes only confirms it. Lois asks if that's all. Does that mean their life together, the promises they made, just a few words, a look, and it's all over? Clark tells her there is nothing more to say. Lois tells him there is. Because it wasn't fear she saw, it was concern. Because the Clark she knows could never walk away from her. From them. Superman tells her no. She's wrong. Clark Kent is a lie, a pathetic attempt to fit in. If that's the case, Lois asks, then why did he bother coming here just to say goodbye? Or is it because he knows these thoughts are wrong? Superman knows she would understand if she knew what it was like when he first landed. An alien. A monster. Lois tells him that he was a child, saved from a dying planet. And it's different, but not in the way he thinks. The people of this world tend to take him for granted. But he doesn't. He never does. Upon hearing these words, Superman realizes that Lois is right. The people of Earth accepted him. They accepted him as one of their own. And these thoughts, these feelings, whatever they were wrong. Lois asks him what made him think this way. Clark tells her that an alien force is on its way to Earth. They have found a way to get inside the minds of heroes from other worlds, turning them against the very people they swore to protect. They preyed on their darkest fears. They amplified them, tried to make them seem real, but they couldn't pull him away from the most precious part of his life. And that's why he came back. Because Clark is in love with Lois. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't take him away from her. Well, it looks like Superman is back in control. But what's going to happen with them? Superman says they are trying to use the heroes to take over this planet. He has to find a way to stop them. But they are going to need help. Superman leaves, knowing he turned his back on a friend. He forced him to join the alien force to save himself. He must find a way to bring him back. As he flies away, Lobo intercepts him and asks why he's making such a fuss. Superman asks if he's going to have trouble with him too. Lobo asks if he's talking about those aliens who tried to brainwash him. The answer is no. They had their chance, but it seems they didn't like what they found. He can imagine why. If Lobo isn't working with them, maybe he could give Superman a hand. Lobo says no. He doesn't do charity. Besides, he thinks his close encounter buddies are going to peel this planet like a banana. He'd wish him luck, but that would mean he cares. He has to go. He's got more important things to do, like killing people. For Superman, this is a relief. At least he doesn't have to deal with Lobo. Back at the Daily Planet, Lois asks Jimmy what all the commotion is about. Jimmy tells her they started gathering outside a few minutes ago, and something tells him they're not here for an interview. All these aliens, like Martian Manhunter, Ultra, and Hawkgirl, are gathering to do something, but no one knows what. Lois realizes this is exactly what Superman warned her about. Meanwhile, at Wayne Manor, as the meeting continued in Metropolis, a different kind of darkness invaded the Batcave. It was a tormented soul, struggling against everything he knew to be true and right. As I wrote before, Batman saw the face of his parents' killer in the eyes of many villains. Now, that distorted vision had fallen upon himself, feeding an agonizing and conflicting rage. Superman arrives at Wayne Manor only to find Alfred on the ground. The butler tried to stop him. He could see the struggle within him, but he couldn't reach him. Clark says the Black Rocks have taken control, giving the aliens a way in. Bruce must be beyond reasoning now. Batman appears and tells him he's right. He is seeing through their eyes now, feeling what it's like to have such incredible power. This cave, this mansion, the lie called Bruce Wayne. He no longer needs any of it. He was ready to kill him a few hours ago. The one who had called himself his friend was trying to murder him. Batman prepares to strike and tells him he should have finished him when he had the chance. Clark tries to stop him. Batman has to listen. He has to fight against all of this. Batman reminds him that not long ago, he asked him to fight too, right before he tried to kill him. Batman lands a brutal blow, and the battle now moves outside the Batcave. A few workers were present in the area, and Clark tells everyone to evacuate, to take cover. Batman asks if that's what he's going to tell the rest of the human race when the Armada finally arrives. Run and hide. Superman says no. He will protect them as he always has. The Man of Steel tries to land a punch, but Batman intercepts it with ease. Then he will be protecting them from themselves. Can Superman feel it? A terrible storm is coming, and not even he can stop it. Outside the Daily Planet, Lois and Jimmy know this is bad. Officially, this is sinister. The strange thing about these heroes is that there's a pattern. None of them belong to this planet. They all seem to be waiting for something. Out of nowhere, A bit of hail starts falling, just when things couldn't get worse. But this isn't hail, it's rocks. And it's even stranger because they're all black. Jimmy picks up one of the rocks, despite Lois telling him not to. But it's too late, because something is happening to him. The heroes from other planets are already here, ready to fight. The black rocks were everywhere. The rain didn't stop. Instead, it brought horror, then surrender, bringing them closer to them. Every falling rock was a malicious alien parasite, infecting its host, those who sought to claim Earth for themselves. There was no doubt that humanity would fight, resist. But that resistance might come at a terrible cost. If there was ever a time when Earth needed its champions, that time was now. But Master Bruce had fallen prey to the dark call of the Black Rock. Superman, by his own doing, had lost his friend. The infected Batman speaks to Superman. He tells him to look at them, fighting for a world that is terrified of their power. Superman tells him they're controlling him, taking over his mind. Those thoughts are all lies. Batman seizes the opportunity and delivers a brutal punch. They are only giving him the same opportunity they gave him, to see the people of Earth the way they see them. Weak, pathetic, driven by hatred and greed. Superman tells him that may be true for some humans, that there are always a handful who succumb to their lowest instincts, but not all of them. It's time for Superman to put a plan into motion. He knows that the rock will release him if it believes he is in danger. Right now, the only thing he can think about is something he was told about Lex Luthor when he was forced to confront him. Superman takes advantage of a slight distraction from Batman and, using his heat vision, creates an explosion that causes Batman to take a heavy hit. Superman emerges from the flames. Batman asks if he really thinks he can scare the Rock into abandoning him. But the aliens, they have been inside his mind. They know him better than he knows himself. They understand his so-called morality. They know he would never kill. It seemed like Batman was recovering, but the Rock takes hold of him again. Superman lands a punch. In any other situation, they would be right. But he knows Batman, and he knows that Bruce would rather die than sell his soul. He will do whatever it takes to bring Bruce Wayne back. And if he can't, then he will give him peace. He forced him to surrender to the Black Rock just to survive. The aliens pitted them against each other. That ends now. He wants his friend back, no matter what happens. No matter if he has to keep hitting him with everything he's got. What he wants is Bruce Wayne to return. Superman keeps striking with all his might. Until finally, Batman tells him to stop. The Rock is gone. He needs to stop. Bleeding, Batman tells Superman that he knew he would find a way to bring him back. Now, they need to put an end to all of this. Meanwhile, at LexCorp in Gotham City, Lex Luthor has been monitoring the progress of the Armada for weeks. He insists that there's no reason to fight these creatures, something he has just told Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy tells him that he's always trying to control the situation. There was a time when he might have been vaguely intimidating, maybe even secretly admired for his composure under fire. But that was before. There's one among the others who believes he might be useful. They sent Jimmy to find him. Luthor tells him he's not hiding. So what's next? Will he take his picture or let his precious rock possess him as it has done with the others? Jimmy punches him. What they want is his mind, free of corruption. Later, elsewhere, Lex Luthor regains consciousness. Someone asks if they're sure this is Lex Luthor, the one who fought the one humans call Superman. Before they can harm Luthor, he tells them to calm down. He can help. They will need someone who understands how these people think so they can crush any rebellion that arises. Unfortunately for Luthor, they don't believe they need to understand them. Those he calls the others have looked into the human heart and found it wanting. This is when Lex Luthor sees who is truly behind all of this, Despero. Despero asks Luthor if he is afraid. Because he should be. Humans like him unjustly imprisoned Despero on OA. But he managed to escape and find a welcoming home among his new friends. They are an extremely moral race. They only take worlds from species they deem unworthy of survival. Luthor has told them about human weaknesses. As a result, they have decided to claim Earth for themselves. Only Superman stands between them and their conquest. Luthor must tell them how to kill him. And if he does, maybe they'll let him live once they're done with this. Meanwhile, in the Batcave, Alfred informs Batman and Superman that there are people who survived the falling rocks. But anyone who avoided the first wave will be infected by the others. The aliens knew they needed an army, so they created one using Earth's people. The controlling intelligence is in the ship that appeared over Metropolis. That's the key to all of this, and Superman has to get inside. Batman tells him he can't go in alone. The Bat is coming with him. As they move forward, Batman shows him a nuclear device. He nearly died taking it from the Joker years ago. He doesn't want to use it, but these creatures must be stopped at any cost. Superman stops him. He made a vow never to take a life. He also promised to protect this world as if it were his own. And he tries to keep both promises. Batman is trying to give him that chance. But no matter what happens, this ends today. And so, these two men, our last champions, head toward their destiny. On the outside, they show iron determination. Some might even call it bravado. But inside, in those places where the cold hand of fear lingers, a dark feeling fights to escape. Both knew that, almost certainly, this could be their last battle. They arrive to face the aliens, who were already waiting for them. Superman is the first to attack, and Martian Manhunter suffers the wrath of his heat vision. But this was all part of the plan, something simple. Superman diverted the alien force's fire, giving Bruce an opening. Batman has switched the controls to full remote automation, so the jet is under Alfred's command. Batman will enter the ship. Once the bomb is activated, he must get the jet back. He promised Superman a chance, and he will have it. The bomb's countdown is set, and in 10 minutes, it will detonate. Before Batman can continue, he is ambushed by Jimmy Olsen, who punches him. Superman is still fighting the creatures, pleading with them to listen. They are being lied to. They must help stop this. Please, they don't have to do this. Superman asks Batman how it's going. The Bat tells him he's fine and ready to do whatever it takes to stop this. But it seems even Superman can't stop all these aliens. After capturing him, they bring him before Batman. The Bat tells him everything is fine, and he's ready to do whatever it takes to stop this. The two have been captured by Despero. He tells them to look at themselves. Earth has already fallen, and it was humanity's own corruption that doomed them. Superman asks Despero what he told these creatures. Despero tells him the truth. That man is terrible, a vile thing. His continued existence on this planet is a defiance against the universe. They all believed him, especially after they entered the mind of the great Superman. He was supposed to be Earth's great champion, but when they reached into his mind, all they saw was doubt. Superman was humanity's only hope, and he failed them. The Man of Steel looks at Despero and says he's right. For a moment, he forgot why he was here. They looked into his mind once and found him wanting. They need to see again, without Despero's influence. Despero tells him it doesn't matter. Nothing has changed. They have seen how his precious humans behave. Cruelty, war, hate. That's why he brought them Lex Luthor. A living proof of the inhumanity of this world. Superman says that's true. This world is plagued by evil, but it is also blessed with people who have transcended their dark impulses. People wishing to look beyond their fear and accept a visitor from another world as one of their own. They had nothing to lose. No reason that someone like Despero could understand. They acted out of simple decency. Many have put it in their hearts, and through them, he has seen the true nobility of the human spirit. He has tried his whole life to live by that, but he has lied and made a mistake. The fact that he was heard shows he has compassion. Now, he has to show them his understanding. Free those people from their control. Despero delivers a hard blow to Superman. They are going to take this planet, and Superman is going to die with the rest of them. He now asks Luthor to put his plan into action. He told him there was a way to destroy it, and he must say it so that he can live. Before Luthor can say anything, Batman attacks him. Luthor appreciates the offer and will think about it. Despero continues, filled with rage. He's telling them that all this is a trick. He saw inside his mind and knows what it is. Superman tells him that yes, they saw what he wanted them to see, but now they have seen the truth. And if they are like him, they don't like being deceived. The rest of them want to hear all of this. The people of Earth welcomed him, offered him a home. If they had come in peace, he has no doubt that they would have done the same with all of them. Batman realizes they aren't listening. They have to stop them right now. Superman knows they're listening in their own way, but they're confused. If they can look into his mind, they will realize that he's right. The problem is that they can see inside Superman's mind, and they can also see inside Batman's mind. Despero told them the human race was not worthy of preservation, and Luthor confirmed it. Now it's up to Batman. They know his intentions. They're waiting to see if he acts against them. Batman asks if he is asking him to make a huge change of fate to believe that they are capable of change. Superman tells him that perhaps he has been fighting in the dark so long that he forgot there might be some light. They were deceived. They have to give him the chance to do what's right. Batman remains a bit skeptical about this situation, but there was no other choice. In the end, he trusted Superman. So, he threw away the bomb's control. Suddenly, and to Batman's surprise, the Martian detective grabs him from behind. He tells him that everything is fine. They have freed all of them. Just like that, in the blink of an eye, it was all over. The aliens never said a word. They didn't have to. The parasites from the Black Rocks moved away from their hosts, taking the worst memories of this dark time with them. For the rest, it was time for healing. Shortly afterward, in the Batcave, Batman is talking with Alfred. Bruce went to the Armada with everything he had, and in the end, they changed because of a simple act of faith. Superman saved him because he believed in them. And despite everything, Batman had doubted him. It's like the aliens were able to reach him. Why could he feel that? Because after everything we've been through, you've never been able to see him as a friend. Alfred tells him that when you reach a crossroads in your life, you have to choose to continue in the same direction or change. The second option can be unsettling, but it often brings the best results. Alfred knows this is advice he's given many times, but this time something notable happened. Batman actually took it. Our story begins at a formal ball where Bruce Wayne ignored a young woman without thinking twice, and ends with the two greatest heroes on Earth coming to an agreement in a friendship that had truly never been lost. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm TJ Prime, and see you in the next video.